Join me as we talk all things true crime.
Made contact and shattered.
The missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and advised that the mother has went through a wall, came home, now they can't find her.
Chad, where are Lori's kids? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
4 were stabbed multiple times and were likely asleep during the attack. Some had defensive wounds.
Most of them had just like one that was the lethal stab wound.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Once I told a lie, and I told my family, I had to keep lying.
McSherman is a demon.
We haven't cleared anybody.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here for another ATS News live stream. We are going to start combing through the 900 plus pages of the Stephan Stearns documents that have come out for the Madelinesoto case. We are on the road to justice for Madelinesoto. We have a very strong case right now against her killer, who was her quote unquote stepfather, in and out of Jen Soto, the mother's life, for over 7 years. Hello, everybody in chat. So good to see you, mods. Let me know if the sound is good, because I'm going to be reading some stuff, and I just want to make sure we're all set before we get started. Hey, Derek, Florida Bass is here. Melly's here. Dustin, Tony. Yeah, let's unpack that. Good to see you guys. Hi, Sherry, Mayla's mom, Unravel. So good to see everyone. Pointer Lover, hello. And I know that Roxanne and others will be joining. Okay, sound is good. Thanks, guys. All right, Purple One's here. Good to see you. Okay, so before I start reading, let me share my screen. We'll get a taste of a little sample of the monster, hearing his voice. It's horrible, but I want to kind of share some visuals as I'm reading instead of just sharing the documents on the screen. So here we go. We'll start here, a couple minutes, and then we'll get into the documents. Hit that like button as well if you guys don't mind. It's greatly appreciated.
We have a really strong bond. I'm the person she goes to when her mom gets in a fight with her and she needs someone to comfort her. And I'm that person for her, This girl knows nothing but love here in this house.
So he says this girl knows nothing but love here in this house. Sick, considering everything that we know. Okay, so here is the beginning of the files. This is page 1 of 896. Can you guys see this? I just want to make sure, because I'm sharing it outside of Chrome. So I just want to make, this is like one of the first times that I'm like sharing my screen this way. So we will be going through. I know, Dustin, it's so infuriating. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I know it's sickening. That's the thing, is there's whole, yeah, that's so twisted. I know this whole deep dive is going to be, thank you, Florida, is going to be very twisted. Okay, my sound check guy is here, Johnny, and he will be serving tea in chat if anyone needs it. I know his voice is so cringy. It really is. So now you're stuck with my cringy voice as I start reading this. So I'm going to skip a couple pages because it's just kind of like signatures and stuff like that. And then we'll get into, hold on one second. Now I've lost the screen. Okay, no, it's right here. Okay, scrolling through. As you can see, these are just signed stuff. Made contact with deputies who were conducting an investigation, gave them permission to go on property to their job. Scrolling through, just some waivers and affidavits that are thrown in here as well. Jen Soto signatured this. Crime scene contamination sheet. Scrolling through, and then we will get into deputy report for incident and the narrative. Okay, now there's going to be military time. I'm terrible at it. I know by now, after reading it so much in the discovery files for Watts, I should know it, but I just don't. So I'm going to be Googling like what this is. Okay, this is a supplement written by DSC Johnson, and it's on March 1st, 2024. Supplemental report on March 1st, 2024 at 17:16 hours, which is 5:16. I responded to 5670 Hickory Tree Road, St. Cloud, Florida, 34772 in reference to a missing person. Upon arrival, I provided scene security due to an ongoing investigation. I completed a crime scene log for all persons entering the scene. Contact was then made with Hardy Demrick, landowner and witness, who provided a sworn written statement and completed a consent to search affidavit. Both documents were submitted for processing. This concluded my involvement in the above incident. So I think it's just like we do in the Watts case. We're just going to go through this. I mean, I know it's almost 900 pages. That's why I kind of labeled this as part 1. So we're obviously going to be combing through this. Okay, we got the tea. Thank you, Johnny. We're going to be combing through this on a few live streams. So thanks, everyone who's here, Zoe, and everyone else who's joined. Good to see you. All you do is minus 12. I'm not good at math, purple one. I know. I am terrible. All right. I'll try my best though, guys. If I do have to look stuff up though, bear with me. Okay, supplemental report written by crime scene analyst supervisor D. Sita. And then it says supplemental report on March 1st, 2024 at approximately 14:30 hours. So if somebody could look up 14:30 military time. 2:30. I was contacted by Major Hinderman and requested to respond to the American Classic Charter School located at 2395 Hickory Tree Road, St. Cloud, Florida, 34772 to assist with the search for a missing juvenile as an assist to Kissimmee PD. Upon arrival, I was tasked with identifying areas of interest to search on a map based on tips received and video footage obtained. So I'm assuming that's the video footage at the church where they think that they might see a girl who's Madeline, but we all know that it's not. At approximately 1600 hours, I was contacted by Lieutenant Yeager, who advised he was sending a male in a white truck to the command post to give me information regarding a possible area of interest. At 1605 hours, I was contacted by Mr. Thomas Karras, witness, and then it gives his number. I'm not going to read it out loud. He advised he had seen the news conference earlier this date and wanted to report a possible sighting of the suspect vehicle from Monday, February 26, 2024. He stated he saw the subject vehicle, a silver sedan, pulled off Hickory Tree Road, and a subject with a tire iron in his hand, wearing a black shirt and green hat on backwards. Standing near the vehicle, he had made eye contact with the subject. He stated he was not exactly sure of the time, but it was around 13:20 hours in the afternoon. So that time I definitely want to know. So 13:20, and I'm going to actually share some body camera footage as I read this too, just so that we're not looking at. Okay, so around 1:20 is when this witness saw Stephan walking near his car with a black shirt on and green hat on backwards, and he had made eye contact with him, and he had seen that he was carrying a tire, whatever it's called. Where'd it go? I'm looking at tire iron in his hand. I asked Mr. Karras if he would mind stepping out of his vehicle and showing me on a map of the exact location. Using my agency-issued laptop, I pulled up a satellite view of Hickory Tree Road around Alberton Road, and Mr. Karras navigated the map to the location he saw the subject at on Monday, February 26, 2024. The latitude and longitude of the location he pointed out were noted. And then it gives the coordinates here. So in case anyone wants to look that up on Google Images, these are the coordinates. And Mr. Karras shared via airdrop to my work cell phone photos he took of the spot that day. And that's on March 1st. For reference, those photos were later emailed to Kissimmee PD. The location provided by Mr. Karras was passed along to Sergeant Swan, Captain Mingione, and Major Hinderman as a point of interest at the command post. I was also contacted by Detective Lorenzano while on scene at the command post. He advised he had collected video from 4085 Malawi TRL St. Cloud and asked if I could have reviewed it for a sighting of the vehicle. I watched 3 of the time frames he provided and found a possible match to the suspect vehicle traveling north on Hickory Tree Road in one of the clips attached to the email with a time frame of, and then it gives 13 minutes, 56 seconds to 14 minutes and 5 seconds. That clip contained the vehicle and was forwarded to Kissimmee PD. I advised Kissimmee PD that I didn't watch further, but there was additional vehicle that they want to reach out to the residents at that address. This concludes my involvement in the case. So this is also a supplement report going through. I do want to check with you guys in chat as well. I'm going to read that, but I'm thinking instead of, like I said, having the words on the screen, let's give you guys some visuals to look at. I'm going to have this stuff muted while I read, but I'll just play the body cam footage. So, body cam on mute while I read the screen. And thank you so much, Unravel. If you have a craving, I definitely, I've been craving like chocolate peanut butter, like protein shakes. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll definitely get a protein shake with that at this smoothie place around here. Okay, back to the report that I'm reading. This is another supplement report written by Sergeant Swan. On March 1st, 2024, this agency received information that a possible suspect involved in a missing person case was in Osceola County. The suspect was seen by a witness in the area of 5670 Hickory Tree Road, St. Cloud, Florida, changing a tire. The witness pointed to the area on a map where he saw the vehicle parked off to the side of the road. Captain Mingione and I arrived in the above area at approximately 1628 hours. I noticed locked gates on the east and west side of the road. Knowing the area and the property owner, I called the property owner Hardy, and I don't want to really say his last name, starts with a D, it's right there on the screen. Hardy advised he was 2 minutes away. Hardy arrived at 1630 hours. Hardy advised we had full permission to enter his property, and he unlocked both the east and west gates. Hardy explained how to lock the gates back. Once we were done, Hardy left, returning to work. Later, after providing consent, Hardy signed a consent to search his property and completed a sworn written statement. Captain Mingione and I entered the property on the west side of Hickory Tree Road. We walked to the north for a few minutes near round hay bales covered in plastic. Then we went to the left, south side of the gate, where there is a long line of tall bamboo trees. Captain Mingione noticed just a few feet into the bamboo tree line what appeared to be blue jeans. So this is when they're discovering her. As we got closer, we noticed what appeared to be a body. The top half of the body was covered by a green-colored hooded sweatshirt, and the bottom half was covered with blue jeans. The body was laying on the left side in somewhat of a fetal position. It appeared that the body was covered by pieces of hay or dry grass. Based on my training and experience, it was apparent this was a human body. I did not see any signs of life. I could clearly see flies covering the body. Captain Mingione and I walked out of the gate and used crime scene tape to secure the scene. Deputy Chris Johnson responded to assist, and a crime scene log was started. Kissimmee Police Department responded to the scene along with forensics, and the investigation was turned over to them. Please see Donna Sita's supplement for the witness report information. All right, so that was the first supplemental report of them finding her body. It is sad, Sherry. It really is. I know. And what's even more sad is that photo that got leaked of the crime scene. That was posted. Do you guys remember when that came out? During the early stages of all this? Yes, didn't they both say she was wearing black shorts? I believe Stephan says pants, and then Jen corrects him and says shorts. Hello, sexy wild thing. Carol freaking Claus, good to see you. Good to see you. Debbie Fox is here. The whole party is here. Thank you guys so much for joining. So we just read when they find her. And I can tell you it's exactly the picture that was leaked on the sheriff's Instagram is described exactly how they say it. You could see not much of a body, but just a bunch of like hay and grass, kind of in like a mound. So apparently she's wearing a green sweatshirt and she's wearing jeans. So not wearing at all any of what they said that she would be wearing. And remember, Jen Soto, the mother claims she saw her that morning. So, how is it that she sees her in one outfit, reports that outfit to the police, and then she's found in a totally different outfit? Did she get redressed? Did Jen Soto never see her? Just got a lot of questions there. All right, I'm just scrolling through some more of those paperwork to get to another file to read. Let's see what this is. Call detail report. I'm just skimming through it because sometimes it's just stuff that's not relevant that was called in. Okay, hold on. This is sort of interesting. All right, let me change up the screen anyways. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. So I'm just going to bounce back from sharing, body cam footage and the files I'm looking at. This is the call detail report page. March 8th, 2024 was when all this was typed out. So this is from Jack Koch. A lot of media is heading towards Hickory Tree. Chambers aware of reference media. Caller Dory advised her husband, Michael Ball, was at the Circle K on Frere's Cove and Canoe Creek on Sunday or Monday. Advised the suspect related to the missing girl opened the door to the Circle K for her husband, Michael Ball. Caller advised the back left hubcap was missing off the vehicle. Caller didn't know if DS could check the video footage to see where the suspect went after leaving the Circle K. Video footage to see, Caller advised he believes he saw the male with a flat rear driver's side tire of his silver sedan Monday morning between 9 and 10 in the morning. So this caller who called in sees Stephan with a flat rear at 9 to 10 a.m., which is earlier than that other report called in the report. Remember, that guy said that he saw it at 1:30. Hi, Roxanne. Hey, Shmita. Good to see you guys. So this is interesting. So as early as 9 to 10 a.m., people are noticing Stephan driving around his car with this flat that morning, Monday. All right. Caller advised he and his wife were headed back home around 14:15 and 15:15 hours and parked behind him and helping suspect change tire. Parked and advised male was still at location and a young male with natural red hair was parked behind him and helping suspect change the tire. So apparently people stopped to help Stephan change that tire. Caller advised he is positive that it is a suspect that was arrested. Interesting. So now we're kind of getting more of a scene. Not only was he, pulled over and seen by that one person around 1:30, but this person is saying that, he was witnessed receiving help from somebody else. I was kind of surprised that Stephan knew how to change a tire all by himself. He doesn't strike me as a type to kind of know that stuff. Took down information. It will be forwarded. I'm just skimming this just to see if there's anything else information or interesting. Victoria Baez advised she used to be a student in Osceola County. Advised that when students would not show up at school, the school would call parents and guardians. They advise DS can pull the recording to know if parents were aware. And the last we heard, they never contacted the parents about Madeline missing that day from school. So it would be interesting if we end up finding out that they did, maybe they left a message on an answering machine or voicemail or whatever. But then Jen Soto makes it seem like she didn't know until she emailed all the teachers, which everyone was wondering, why would you email? Why wouldn't you just call at that point? He advised, he has video footage that faces entrance of the building, but can see old hickory tree in the background. Advised if DS needs footage. Okay. So that was a call log. These are more call reports. Let's see what else we got. Signature affidavit. Scene photographs. Tire fragment from marker 1. Tire fragment from marker 2. Recovery location. This is part of the death investigation notes. So the assignment is squad sex crimes for this. Okay, here we go with another narrative and supplemental report. So I'm going to read through this. I'm assuming this redacted information is probably going to be names like Madeline's and Jen Soto's and all that. So we're going to have to just kind of figure out it as we go. Let me share a different screen halfway through this so that we don't have to just stare at this. A lot of people do change tire by themselves, but I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't know how. And like I said, I couldn't imagine Stephan Stearns being the type to know. Hi, Scottish Queen. Good to see you. Pointer lovers change her own flat tires. Impressive. Okay. I still want to know if the tire was flat or was legit or deliberate. I really think that it was legit. Like, it seems like he was caught in a situation. People were witnessing him out there. Like, them witnessing him on that road is what led to the body. So I feel like the whole theory of he purposely was doing it so that he had a reason, like, for, I just don't think that he's that smart, personally, to kind of stage like, oh, I'll make it look like I got a flat. I just don't think he's that smart. I think he was in a situation where he really did get a flat. Okay. On February 26, 2024, at approximately 18:53 hours, the Orange County Sheriff's Office received a call for service reference a missing juvenile. At approximately 19:48 hours, Deputy Frankie Joseph responded to, in reference to, I'm assuming it's their address, in reference to a missing 13-year-old juvenile, later identified as madelinesoto. Deputy Joseph made contact with Madeline's mother, Jen Soto, who advised the following in a verbal and sworn written statement. On February 26th at approximately 0800 hours, so 8 in the morning, Jen Soto observed Madeline Soto. So this is a sworn and written statement, verbal and sworn and written statement. So she's claiming that she observed Madeline getting dressed for school, which, you know, is interesting considering what she saw her getting dressed in isn't what she was found in. At approximately 8:30 hours, Jen Soto's boyfriend, Stephan Stearns, took Madeline Soto to school and dropped her off near the intersection of Town Loop Boulevard at Hunters Park Lane. At approximately 1600 hours, Jen Soto went to, and then I'm assuming the address of the school, an attempt to pick up Madeline. However, Madeline never came out of the school. Jen Soto searched the area for Madeline. After not finding her, she went to, and then it has that all address redacted. Deputy Joseph made contact with Stephan Stearns, who advised the following in a verbal and sworn written statement. On February 26, 2023, at approximately 8:25 to 8:40 hours, Stephan dropped Madeline off approximately 1 block from her school. Stephan watched Madeline leave his vehicle and walk in the direction of her school. As Stephan was driving away, he saw what appeared to be Madeline searching through her book bag. Stephan did not think anything of it due to Madeline always looking through her bag to find headphones so she could put them in before going into school. Stephan then drove to a vape shop. However, it was closed. He drove to his residence. Stephan was home for approximately an hour before he traveled back to the vape shop. After buying vape juice, Stephan returned home and hung out with, and then that name is redacted. Stephan then went out to run errands and returned home at approximately 14:30 hours. Deputy Joseph responded to, and then it has an address redacted, with an Orange County Sheriff's Office K-9 unit to collect clothing article belonging to Madeline and headed back to the intersection of Town Loop Boulevard at Hunters Park Lane, which was the last known location Madeline was seen, and began a track. The track yielded negative results. And we all watched that body cam footage of them tracking for Madeline. We were all kind of critical of the handlers of the dogs. But you know what? Even if they did a perfect job, I think we all know that wouldn't have mattered anyways, because Madeline was never in that area. She was probably already dumped at the dump site. Madeline was described as 5 foot 1 inch, approximately 110 pounds, with blue eyes, fair skin, and blonde hair. According to Stephan and jennifersoto, Madeline was last seen wearing, okay, so they did say that she was wearing the green hoodie, which is what she was found in. But the black shorts are not what she was found in, and white Crocs. And then redacted was entered into Embrysource, some program, and later entered to Teletype as a missing in, okay, so madelinesoto was entered into this database. Missing endangered juvenile by, and then what is this? Glyciner. And Bolo is, and then it gives the number for the Bolo, be on the lookout. Deputy Joseph contacted an on-call domestic crimes detective. It should be noted personnel assigned to the domestic crime squad conduct missing persons investigations. Detective Francis Hunt was notified and coordinated the initial patrol response, subsequently advising Deputy Joseph to route the report to the missing persons squad. On February 27th, 2024, Detective F. Hunt was notified Madeline did not report to school. At this time, Detective Hunt made contact with jennifersoto and Stephan. Please see supplemental report for further details. So let me change up my screen while I finish reading this. Hope everyone in chat is doing okay. Because, again, I am reading, so might not be able to read all your guys' comments. Okay. Feel like they know a lot more than about Jen than what has been said. Me too. Yeah, I have AAA. It's come in handy. Okay. And if you guys haven't hit like, please hit that like button while I read all this. Investigative detail. On February 27th, 2024, at approximately 1600 hours, I, Detective M. Tagler, was notified of the missing person investigation and responded to assist with canvassing. I responded to the initial command post located at 5100 Town Center Boulevard, Orlando, Florida. Upon my arrival, I was tasked to speak with stephansterns with Detective L. Acosta. Before speaking with Stephan, I was advised the vehicle he was driving, a 2010 silver Lincoln MKZ bearing Florida tag IYLL82, had been seen in the following locations. So this is a timeline we definitely should remember, write down if we can. February 26, 2024, his vehicle is seen southbound on St. John Young Parkway and Osceola County line at 8:10 in the morning. Then it goes on to say, it's also seen on southbound on South John Young Parkway and Osceola County line at 10:05 in the morning. Southbound on St. John Young Parkway and Osceola line at 11:48 hours. And eastbound on US I-92 and Pecan Street at 13:05 hours. It's westbound on US I-92 at Academy Drive at 14:23 hours. And this is part of the incident report, interview with Stephan Sterns. Let me take a little drink before I read this. Okay. On February 27, 2024, Detective Acosta and I conducted a digitally recorded sworn interview with Stephan Sterns, and then it's redacted location. Below is a synopsis of his statement. Hold on. Stephan currently resides in Northport, Florida, but comes to Kissimmee, Florida occasionally to spend time with Jen Soto and Madeline Soto. On February 25th at 2024 at approximately 20:45 hours, Stephan arrived at Jen Soto and Madeline Soto's residence located at, and then the address is redacted. When he arrived, Jen was still at work and he directed Madeline to get ready for bed. Once Jen arrived, she informed Stephan and Madeline she would like to sleep and directed them to sleep upstairs in the guest room. The following morning, Stephan and Madeline woke up at approximately 7 o'clock to 7:15 hours to get an early start so they could purchase food from McDonald's before school. Madeline and he left their residence at between 7:30 and 7:45 hours and headed towards the McDonald's located at 14001 Town Loop Boulevard, Orlando, Florida. On the way to McDonald's, Madeline slept the entire time, and once in the area, Stephan asked her if she still wanted McDonald's, to which she stated she did not. Stephan drove past McDonald's and headed towards the school. Stephan dropped Madeline off on the right side of the road near the community south of the State Road 417 overpass between 8:20 to 8:40 hours. According to Stephan, Madeline was going through a phase, which led her to be embarrassed of the vehicle and did not want to be dropped off at the school in it. Madeline then informed Stephan she was going to hang out with her friends, and Stephan did not question it since it was not unusual for kids to hang out before school. Stephan let Madeline out of the vehicle and told her to have a good day, love you. She walked in the direction of the school. Stephan assumed Madeline was looking for headphones, but later realized she had forgotten her phone. Stephan continued to observe Madeline walk towards the direction of the school. At this point, Detective Acosta showed Stephan a map of the area where he alleged he dropped Madeline off for school. According to Stephan, he dropped her off on the sidewalk at the intersection of Lilac Cove Lane and Town Loop Boulevard. Stephan stated this was maybe the 5th or 6th time he had dropped her off, and it was common for her to ask to be dropped off near the school. According to Stephan, Madeline enjoyed the cold weather, and at the time he dropped her off, she was wearing her hoodie. I asked Stephan if he pulled into the McDonald's plaza, to which he advised he did not because she said she did not want McDonald's. I then asked if at any point he made a U-turn, and Stephan stated he made a U-turn at the church parking lot, to try and sell her McDonald's one more time. He was still hungry. Madeline informed Stephan she just wanted to go to school, therefore they turned back around. According to Stephan, he made a U-turn in the McDonald's. He made a U-turn in the church parking lot located at 13502 Town Loop Boulevard, Orlando, Florida. Detective Acosta showed Stephan a map and showed the school and the McDonald's, and asked Stephan to show him on the map his direct travel. Stephan stated he was bad at reading maps, but that he believed they came across Town Loop Boulevard. Stephan then stated when he drives to the school, he usually takes John Young Parkway and makes a left turn when he sees a McDonald's onto the same road the school is on. According to Stephan, he uses landmarks to get to the school since he does not know street names. Stephan again stated Madeline said no to McDonald's and they had time to kill. And that time to kill is in quotes. Hang on. Which is sort of unsettling. So here I am. Stephan stated Madeline said no to McDonald's and they had time to kill. Therefore, he made a U-turn, probably by the church, and asked her if she wanted McDonald's again. When he dropped her off, Stephan asked her if it was okay for her to stay this early, and Madeline reassured him it was, and that she wanted to wait for her friends to get there. Stephan told her, "Have a good day, I love her," and she said she loved me too, also in quotes, and turned around to leave and could see Madeline in his rearview mirror walking towards the direction of the school as she rummaged through her backpack. Isn't it just so sick how he keeps he's made up this whole scene and why even throw in the extra details of I saw her rummaging through her backpack, probably for her headphones, but then I realized she forgot her phone. It's like one of those situations where they add in too many details and you just know that they're lying. After leaving the area of Madeline's school, Stephan went to the local vape shop because he needed more vape juice. The vape shop was not open yet. Therefore, he went back to his residence at approximately 10 a.m. So here's the thing. He drops her off at around, 8:40 in the morning. And now, he goes to the vape shop. It's closed. And then at 10 o'clock, he's headed back to the residence. So where did this time... There's gaps of times missing, obviously. Stephan hung out with, and that person's name is redacted, for a little while, and approximately an hour later, he went back to the vape shop. At this time, the vape shop was open, and he was able to purchase the item he needed. At around 11 o'clock, Stephan went back to his residence and hung out with, and that person's redacted, again. I asked Stephan if, redacted, was home the first time he returned, to which he stated, "Yes, I think so." How do you not know for sure if somebody was home? Then stated he was not sure because she had a blood appointment. Oh, I bet you that is Jen Soto, because she had a doctor's appointment at some point during the day and apologized, stating, "Sorry, everything is a blur." Sure it is. Stephan then stated he believed she was home because she was trying to sleep in as much as she could because she was messed up with her work schedule. Interesting. Let me check with you guys before I continue on. Yeah, he made everything up as he went and was too detailed. Agree. Yeah, how do you not know the name of the streets you drive on? Right, especially since he's been in and out of their life for 7 years. I don't know how long they were in that condo for, but how do you not know? How in the F did Jen not realize this situation? It's an absolute abhorrent act, teamed up with the devil himself. Right, and he states, right there that she told them that she wanted to get some sleep after the birthday party that she didn't attend and for them to go upstairs to bed together. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, Queen says vape shops open at 9. Yeah, I'm curious, this one specifically, which I know the detectives have looked through and all that, but the way that they just openly say, like, yeah, she told us to go sleep together in the same bed. And my mind is just like, what? Okay, let me just read a little bit and then I'll change up to some different visuals. I asked Stephan if he recalled what time he went to the vape shop, and he advised he believed around 11 o'clock, stating it was only a 10-minute drive. Stephan stated the shop was called East. Oh, this would be interesting for anyone to look up. This is in Florida. Here's the whole address. E-Smoker Online Vape Shop, which is located at 13651 Hunters Oak Drive, Orlando, Florida. After making the purchase, Stephan returned home where he remained until 12:45 hours. At that time, Stephan left the residence, heading towards the area of US I-92 to run several errands. Redacted name had mentioned to Stephan. Okay, so maybe Jen Soto mentioned to Stephan she wanted to make a BJ's wholesale club list and wanted Stephan to be back in time to go with her to pick up Madeline, I think. While on US I-92, Stephan visited some card shops because he is a nerd, and there was a new card that had been released. Stephan stated he visited Coliseum of Comics, stopped at a couple of Targets, and was going to go to House Rules Games on Oak Street and US I-92. Stephan advised he did not make it that far because he got a flat tire. I asked Stephan where he got his flat tire, and he informed me it was on US I-92, and he had pulled into one of the plazas, which we know isn't the location. The location was that hickory tree area, remember? So another blatant lie. And it wasn't, and he didn't pull into a plaza. Stephan then stated it had been about 10 years since he changed a tire and had made many rookie mistakes in the process and ended up pinning his thumb in between the jack and the frame. I asked Stephan which plaza he pulled into, and he stated he was not sure. Like, how do you not know these details, but you know other details? And it's like, oh, because you're lying. But believed it was called, and then it's redacted. Oh, wait, no, believed it was before Oak Street. Stephan then stated he did not make it back in time because he got a flat tire, and redacted left to pick up, Jen Soto left to pick up Madeline without him. Stephan hung out and straightened the apartment as he waited for Jen Soto and Madeline. Guys, give me a second. I have to, you guys know I'm pregnant. Have to run to the bathroom real quick to pee. Let me, in the meantime, play something for you guys. Let's start here. I'll be right back.
I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you for joining us on Closing Arguments. It's a tough story to talk about, but there are things that we are finding out that are incredibly troubling and somewhat confusing. And I want to try to shed a little more light on it tonight. And of course, we're talking about the case involving Madelinesoto, one of the last photos, if not the last photo of her from her 13th birthday party at a relative's house. Her mom wasn't there. When she went home, her mom still wasn't home, but guess who was? Her so-called on-again, off-again boyfriend, Stephan Sterns. And Stephan Sterns is the one that got her ready for bed. And then for whatever reason in the world, which none of us can figure out, Madeline's mom sent these two downstairs or upstairs to the guest room while she slept by herself. Mom sleeping by herself. She wanted to sleep in. I worked late. I don't want anyone to bother me in the morning. So why don't you two go share a bed in another room alone? That actually happened. That actually happened. Now, we're learning more about what this dynamic was between Stephan Sterns and his victim, his alleged victim, madelinesoto. This is Madeline apparently was speaking with a counselor at school. An investigator spoke to the counselor. Madeline reported that her mom's boyfriend was living in the home and she didn't like him because he was weird. When she pressed the counselor, Madeline, about why she felt he was weird, she claimed it was because he ate all their food, hangs out in their living room, and makes her feel uncomfortable. Madeline reported in December that mom's boyfriend was moving out of the home, and that made her happy. She also never disclosed anything inappropriate happening between her and her mother's boyfriend. Since December, she started to report things were getting better at home and at school. Their last check-in was on February 6, 2024, and Madeline reported that she was really happy and things were good with mom and at school. Okay. One more interview. This is with Madeline's friend. Remember, she's 13 years old.
Okay, back. Now, those are pages that we haven't gotten to yet, like through our deep dive, but still interesting to kind of throw into the mix. We'll get back to that too. I just want to read some more. Thank you guys for waiting for me too. I appreciate it. I know you guys say you understand and all that, but yeah, why would it just, I can't think of any excuse. I've gone over it and over it again, and it's like, there's just no excuse for it. Why would any mother tell their daughter to sleep with a man is beyond me. And now we're hearing through Madeline, through her counselor, that he made her feel uncomfortable. Like, what the heck? And this counselor, I mean, what's she going to do? Report that somebody was making her feel uncomfortable? I don't know. Is the counselor at fault at all? I don't know. All right, so where we left off in that supplemental report that I was reading, it says Stephan hung out and straightened. So he got a flat tire, wasn't able to go with Jen Soto to pick up Madeline. Stephan called Jen to tell her what happened and apologized profusely for not being back in time to go with her to pick up Madeline. Once back at the residence, Stephan hung out and straightened the apartment as he waited for Jen and Madeline. Jen then contacted Stephan to let him know Madeline had not come out. At this time, Stephan began getting worried and started making phone calls to Madeline's family, asking them to be on the lookout since she may be walking to them. According to Stephan, this was everything started going downhill. And that is in quotes. Everything started going downhill. I then asked Stephan if it was normal for Madeline not to have her phone, to which he replied Madeline was severely ADHD, as is her mother and he. Stephan advised due to this, it was not unusual for her to forget her phone. I asked Stephan if he was on medication for ADHD, and he stated, if she was on medication for ADHD, and he stated she normally took her medication, but had not done so the week prior due to being at her grandparents' residence most of the week, resulting in Madeline being very spacey. Stephan then stated Madeline's hours had changed. Oh, Jen Soto's hours had, sorry, this is redacted, so I'm kind of guessing as I read. Jen Soto's hours had changed at work, which was why he had driven up there to help. As Detective Acosta was reviewing the map, Stephan asked if he had messed up the streets again and reiterated that he was bad about streets in the Hunters Creek area. Yeah, why didn't Madeline have her own room? Especially knowing that, you know, there's roommates and stuff in the house. Like, obviously they had more rooms. They had means for things. Like, why couldn't, if Jen Soto needed a good night's sleep, Why isn't Madeline allowed to lay there with her? Why couldn't Madeline and her mom had gone up to that room together and Stephan stay downstairs? I just don't understand. It's not like Madeline is a toddler and, rambunctious, jumping all around in the bed. Like, she should have been able to lay down with her mother and her mom could have still gotten a good night's sleep. I just don't understand, like, the excuse of sending them to go sleep in their room together. I informed Stephan. He mentioned he made a U-turn at the church to see if she wanted McDonald's again, to which he agreed. I asked Stephan if he had gone anywhere else since they had, quote, time to kill, to which he stated no. I asked Stephan if there was any reason why he would be back on John Young Parkway, and he stated when they tried to get McDonald's the second time, he would have had made a left instead of looped around. I asked Stephan to show me on the map what he was referring to. Stephan stated he was originally going north on John Young's Parkway, turned left at McDonald's, Town Loop Boulevard, towards the school, and made the U-turn at the median located at Lilac Cove Lane and Town Loop Boulevard. Stephan then went back to McDonald's with still, this is in quotes, still time to kill, and then again U-turn, and then stated she did not want McDonald's, so he gave her a cheese Danish pastry he had from home. Stephan headed north on John Young Parkway, turned eastbound on Town Center Boulevard, and made a right towards the school. I asked Stephan if he recalled what time he dropped her off, and he advised he estimated it around 8:20 to 8:40 hours. I asked Stephan if he had the Google Maps application on his phone, and he advised he did. He was not mapping it at the time. At the time, I asked Stephan if he would mind if I looked at his map, to which he stated he did not. Unlocked his phone and handed it to me. As I reviewed Stephan's Google Maps, Detective Acosta confirmed once again the route he took that morning. Detective Acosta informed Stephan he stated he had gone up John Young Parkway through Town Center Boulevard and made a right on Town Loop Boulevard before he dropped her off before the underpass south of the church. Stephan again stated Madeline enjoyed the morning walks when the weather was cold and how she did not like to get dropped off in his car because it was an image thing. Stephan informed Detective Acosta the bell usually rings around 9:15, and he had dropped her off that morning earlier than typical since they had made really good time. Stephan again confirmed watching Madeline walk towards the direction of the school. I asked Stephan if he would mind if I checked if he was logged on to his Google account, and he replied he was not logged on, but that it was okay for me to check. I asked Stephan if he would mind if I checked if he was logged on. Okay, already read it. While I looked through Stephan's Google history, Detective Acosta continued to speak with Stephan. Stephan advised Detective Acosta the morning he dropped Madeline off at the school, she had her school laptop, which should still be with her, which we know is a lie, and that he was seen on CCTV footage in their apartment area, the condo area, dumping her backpack and her laptop in the trash can at 7:35 in the morning. So he's blatantly lying here as well, which we know this whole thing is just a facade. Stephan described Madeline's backpack as black and grayish hibiscus flowers on it. Detective Acosta asked Stephan if Madeline had ever run away for any amount of time, to which he stated Madeline was very dependent on them and would probably not know what to do if she were to run away. Stephan also stated Madeline was not the type to run away and that she was a good kid. Stephan informed Detective Acosta that Madeline had been tested a while ago and shows signs of being on the spectrum of autism and had been diagnosed with autism, but was later advised she was not autistic. All right, this is another long page. Let me see how you guys are doing. This video is almost up too, so I'll share my screen again. Yeah, why not sleep in an empty room? They were not supposed to be renting rooms. Yeah, I heard that Jen Soto's father was the one that was paying for the condo. I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's what I had heard. Let's play, this one's like 18 minutes, so that'll help while I read. I know. There's so many other options that could have been opted for besides you two go up in a room together. I need to get some sleep. Madeline didn't have any disabilities which required her to sleep unsupervised. It's so disgusting, right? This is why I don't date these days. I have 2 girls who are 16 and 14. I don't blame you. I believe it was said she was renting the other rooms out, allegedly. Yes, I heard that as well. Absolutely ridiculous. To put that above giving your daughter her own space. Like, I just don't believe this whole she needed contact to sleep. So then why couldn't she sleep with her mother that night? She literally fed her to this man. For real. Yes, that is odd, AV. Isn't it odd the rooms are numbered? What's with that? Okay, guys. I am still reading through the files. Obviously, we're on page 31 of 896. Obviously, this is part 1. Here we go. I confirmed with Stephan. He used Google Maps for directions, to which he stated, yes, go places, search address, look at the store hours, write reviews. It's a pretty new phone, though. As I looked through Stephan's Google Maps account, I noticed he did not have recorded travel on the account consistent with the driving he informed us he had done on February 26, 2024. And February 27th, 2024. I asked Stephan if he had returned to the area to assist Jen, and he stated it was on, February 25th, 2024 at approximately 20-30 hours, just in time to make sure she was doing all her nightly routines. As they waited for, it's redacted, to get home, I asked Stephan where he and redacted looked for redacted. Okay, so as he waited for Jen to get home, I asked Stephan where he and Jen looked for Madeline. He said they stayed local. I asked Stephan if they drove anywhere, to which he stated he believed they had not, and Madeline's family was driving around. Stephan stated he did not recall driving anywhere the night of February 26, 2024, and that he was socked out on Ativan to the point because he was a wreck, and that's in quotes, and that he was on so many tranquilizers. Stephan stated he had not needed to take Ativan in a while, but that he had been having these panic attacks and had been crying and took it to sleep that night. Detective Acosta informed Stephan we were trying to establish timelines of events, at which point Stephan interrupted and stated he was trying his best, but he was not a morning person, and he was trying to give his best guess. Detective Acosta then stated, we knew he drove north on John Young Parkway and made a left at the McDonald's, which Stephan agreed. And he mentioned he had dropped her off at 8:20 and 8:40 hours. Detective Acosta asked Stephan what time he believed he made the first left at the McDonald's, and he stated it was around 8 o'clock or 8:15. Detective Acosta showed Stephan on the map the direction he stated he traveled, which he again confirmed. Detective Acosta pointed out to Stephan the direction and continued to mention he had traveled northbound on John Young Parkway. Detective Acosta then asked Stephan why his vehicle was seen traveling southbound in the direction of Kissimmee. Stephan stated he was sorry and that he had forgotten his gate clicker and had driven back to the residence. Stephan advised he went through the front gate and had to use his parking pass to grab his clicker, and that he had provided wrong times because he was not a morning person. Stephan stated he had almost arrived at the school and they had plenty of time to kill, which is why he rushed back to get the gate clicker. I asked Stephan if when I looked at the surveillance of the complex, it was going to show him entering the gate with Madeline in the front seat, and he stated yes. Detective Acosta asked Stephan if he could not have just waited after he dropped Madeline off to get the gate clicker, which he stated he could have, but he liked coming into the complex through the back gate because sometimes they were busy in the front gate and it was better not to wait in a long line. At that point, I noticed Stephan's phone only contained minimal data on his call history and appeared as if some of the messaging applications had never been used. I stepped away for a second as Detective Acosta continued to speak with Stephan. While I walked away, Stephan informed Detective Acosta he had made a joke to Madeline on the morning of February 26, 2024, about her Crocs since she wore Crocs and socks. Stephan described Madeline as a very good girl who brought a lot of joy and did not feel the same without her around. Stephan stated Madeline had been so happy and she had been looking forward to him visiting, all of them being together. Stephan stated Madeline called him her bonus dad, advising they had a very strong bond and that she knew nothing but love in the household. Stephan stated Madeline was doing well in school and she was also singing. He then stated Madeline had sang for him, and I reminded him of the movie Sister Act, and he told her he was very proud of her. I returned to speak to Stephan and asked him if he would unlock his phone again, which he did. I asked Stephan if he had stated did not have the phone that morning and when he dropped off Madeline. He replied he had forgotten it because he was too busy trying to get Madeline out the door. So this is why everyone's been like, okay, so you went back to the gate clicker for the gate clicker, but you didn't go back for your phone or Madeline's phone. I asked him if he had his phone when he went to the smoke shop, which he stated he did not the first time, but he did the second time. I informed Stephan when I was looking at his call history, I had noticed he only had a call log for February 27th, 2024, and asked if that was unusual on his phone. Stephan stated, no, it's a new phone. Ugh, stupid. I went to do an update yesterday morning, and I don't know what the what the heck I did. But somehow during the massive iOS update, I managed to factory reset my phone and lose all my contacts and information. Oh, because everybody does that, right? You guys have all done that. You go to get an update on your phone and, oopsies, factory reset. I asked Stephan if he recalled what time that occurred, which he stated sometime while he was hanging with, and it's redacted. So is that Madeline? I informed, or is that Jen? Or is that one of the roommates? A lot of redactions, guys. I informed Stephan I was going to maintain possession of his phone at this time and asked him to please refrain from going back inside his vehicle. Stephan swore everything he told us was true. Detective Hunt stayed with Jen and Stephan. At approximately 20:38 hours, Osceola K9 responded to 4012 Santa Maria Drive, Kissimmee, Florida, and conducted a track that yielded negative results, which we all know why the K9s were not coming back with anything that they picked up as far as scents. At this time, Detective Acosta and I responded to the front entrance of the complex and made contact with the security in reference to video surveillance. Detective Acosta and I reviewed the surveillance showing both the front and rear entrance of the complex, which exited onto Dyer Boulevard. In the surveillance footage, I observed a male wearing a red shirt leaving the complex. in a 2010 silver Lincoln MKZ through the rear gate at 7:50 hours with a female wearing a green sweater in the front seat. This person appeared to be sitting upright with her head slumped over to the left side. At approximately 8:19 a.m., I observed a male wearing a red shirt enter the complex through the front gate near North Hoagland Boulevard in the silver Lincoln, with someone in the front passenger seat wearing a green sweater and once again slumped over. At 8:31 hours, the male wearing the red shirt left the complex in the Lincoln MKZ through the rear gate with a female in the front passenger completely slumped over to the left. So if you're in the passenger seat and you're sleeping, which he, claimed she was, why are you slumped to the left? You would be slumped leaning onto the window or the door, which is on the right side. Right, guys? Yeah, they ask you like 3 times if you are sure you want to reset your phone. Yeah. Oh, it happens all the time. Yeah, they knew from the start that man hurt this sweet baby girl. I think for sure and when we listened to their interview, the verbal interview, like this is all the supplemental reports of the interviews. We have a live stream where we listen to that. Yeah, that lazy bum didn't even work. I know. You can just tell like he was just fumbling through the story, etc. Which is why I feel like this wasn't premeditated. It just seems super sloppy in my opinion. But you guys let me know what you think. Do you think this was planned out? What are you guys thinking? All right. Now this is another incident report. This one's Orange County Sheriff's Office. Detective Corporal Jessica Alejos with Orange County Violent Crimes Unit responded to the scene and continued reviewing the surveillance footage. At this time, Detective Tagler was assigned as the lead investigator to this case. Detective Acosta and I returned to the residence, and I asked Detective Hunt to ask everyone in the house to please exit the residence and to secure the residence. Now, this is redacted, this interview with, and it's all redacted. On February 27th, 2024, Detective Acosta and I conducted a digital sworn interview with redacted at addresses redacted. Below is a synopsis of her statement. I introduced myself to redacted and informed her I was going to be the lead detective on this investigation. I informed redacted that Detective Hunt had provided me with a synopsis of what had occurred the day Madeline went missing. I informed redacted I had been advised she had a new job. So this is with Jen. Now we know who the redaction is. Jen, I informed Jen I had been advised she had a new job and that she had asked Madeline and Stephan to sleep upstairs because she needed to get rest, which she stated was correct. So she's not denying this. She's not saying like, well, she's not even, giving excuses. According to Jen, Madeline had her birthday party on February 25th, 2024, beginning at 1500 hours and ending at an unknown time. Jen had not attended due to being at work. Jen advised her sister had dropped Madeline off at the house at approximately 20-30 hours and believed Stephan had arrived shortly after that time. So Stephan was not at the party. Her aunt drops her off at home after her birthday party, and then Stephan shows up at the home, but Jen is not home yet. Stephan informed Jen that Madeline had taken her nighttime medication and was ready for bed, which consisted of taking a shower. See, this whole like, oh, she took a shower. It's just all is very unsettling to me. Jen arrived at the house from work at approximately 22:30 hours and sent Madeline and Stephan to bed at approximately 2300 hours and asked Madeline where I asked Jen where Madeline and Stephan slept, and she stated upstairs in bedroom number 4. So this is where we go back to, like, why are these bedrooms numbered? Why doesn't Madeline have her own bedroom? Who rents out bedrooms to people when you have a child who should have her own designated room? Oh, but then they throw in this, oh, she needed human contact as she slept. How convenient for somebody like Stephan, right? In this whole story. I think Madeline said, no, leave me alone. I definitely could see that. I think it escalated quickly. Yeah, the mother makes me sick as he does. She covered it up. Yeah, you fall against something, not the opposite way, right? Like slumping over to the left side. Not a good sign. I don't think it was planned, but he had to make a plan up afterwards. Yeah. Okay. Continuing on. I asked Jen if it was normal for Stephan and Madeline to sleep in the same room, to which she stated sometimes she would send them upstairs when she needed a really good night's sleep. Jen also advised sometimes they would all sleep together in the king-size bed, and other times Stephan would sleep upstairs, meaning it's redacted, meaning so-and-so, and she would sleep alone. Madeline and she would sleep alone. Jen advises, I don't understand why they've redacted Jen's name. This leads me to think that she's being like protected, like as a witness. And all these supplemental reports, Jen's name is redacted. So everyone's been wondering, are they going to use Jen for the state's case against Stephan? I don't know. I just don't get why Jen Soto's name is redacted in all this. If you guys don't think it's unusual, let me know. Jen advised it usually depended on everyone's schedule the following day. I asked Jen what time she had woken up on February 26, 2024, to which she stated between 8 o'clock and 8:15 hours because Stephan had gone into the room to put the leash on the dog. Jen got up to assist Stephan with placing the leash on the dog because she did not want him to pee on the bed. Jen heard people in the kitchen, and as far as she knew, Madeline had gone downstairs to get ready for school. How would she know that if she was like in her room in bed? Anyways, Jen then stated Madeline had a makeshift room. Oh, that's nice. Give your daughter a makeshift room. Makeshift room in the living room that had a television, a desk, a dresser, and a bed. Madeline only used this room to hang out and would never sleep there. I asked Jen if she visually observed Madeline on the morning of February 26, 2024, and she stated no. Wait a minute, what? Let me share my screen. I thought she told people she saw them getting dressed. Help me out here, guys, because this is redacted. Okay. This is where we're at. Madeline only used this room to hang out and would never sleep there. I asked Jen if she visually observed Madeline on the morning of February 26, 2024, to which she stated no. I asked if she heard her, and she stated she heard people in the kitchen, but was not sure if it was her specifically. So this is what I don't get too. You get up to help Stephan put a leash on a dog, but you don't get up to get your daughter dressed for school or at least get her ready for school or make her breakfast or make sure she's got everything she needs. You know what I mean? Like I remember my dad used to list off things before we walked out the door every single morning. You got this, you got your lunch money, your backpack, your gym shoes. You know what I mean? Like there was always somebody, one of my parents being there to make sure we had everything we needed. But Jen Soto gets up to assist Stephan to put the dog's leash on, but she's not getting up to, help with Madeline go to school. She doesn't even know if she heard her that morning. She stated she heard people in the kitchen, but not sure if it was her specifically. Jen then stated the last time she had physically seen Madeline was on February 25th, 2024 at 2300 hours when she had sent her to bed. Okay, so seeing her get dressed at 8 in the morning is not in this written and sworn. This is conducted a digitally recorded sworn interview. What's going on here, guys? On February 26, 2024, Jen got out of bed at approximately 9 o'clock hours and left the residence around 9:30 hours because she had a doctor's appointment at 10:15. My God. This is another thing I just don't get. So you don't even have to get up to go to work early. You sent them up to go sleep together so you could get some sleep to get up at 9 o'clock and go to a 10:15 doctor's appointment? What the heck? Find it odd the mom in Slimeball says she couldn't sleep alone, but she says she wants to live in the woods. Right. So she's okay texting her friends that when she turns 13, she wants to live in the woods. But her parents, her mom and Slimeball, like you say, said, yeah, that she needed human contact. She said that in the news interview. Yeah, she said, I swear, in two separate news interviews, she says this one where she's aligns with this statement where she said that they spoke after the birthday party and she was excited and happy and sharing her gifts. And then in another interview, I swear it was like different. She says that she saw her getting dressed that morning. And here's the other thing. We already watched the body cam footage of them all. Remember, she's describing what Madeline was wearing that day. How would you know? You're stating here that you didn't see her and you didn't even know if what you were hearing was her. So how would you have even been able to give a description of her clothing? Oh, which, by the way, didn't match what she was found in anyways. What the heck? Okay, doctor's appointment, 10:15. Jen returned home between approximately 11 o'clock and 11:15 and believes Stephan was home at this time. I asked Jen what she and Stephan did when they reunited at that residence. Jen stated they had chatted for a little bit and she asked what happened. I asked what she meant and she stated Stephan had called her around 10:18 hours to let her know that he and Madeline had gone to McDonald's had not gone to McDonald's as planned. According to, I don't know what this is. According to blank blank, and Stephan had planned to leave early and have a special breakfast at McDonald's. So here's another thing I don't get. You don't go to her birthday party the night before because you had to work. You don't get her ready for school in the morning because you wanted to sleep in because you had a doctor's appointment at 10:15 and you couldn't even go to this special breakfast. Like you just let them, have this little special breakfast date. To leave early and have a special breakfast at McDonald's, and he would then drop her off at school early because she wanted to arrive early. Stephan told Jen that on the way to school, Madeline was very sleepy and she wanted to sleep, not get McDonald's. So she wanted to sleep. Why didn't you guys just leave her in bed? Like you guys got her at work or at school. So it's just, this stuff is just not making sense. And I know that the detectives at this point are like, red flag, red flag. He also wanted to let her know and this is the thing, is like, Stephan's a liar, obviously. He's lied in all his reports and all that in interviews. Jen, is she just naive or is she going along with these lies? That's where like my head's at. Like, very interesting. You know, you don't see your kid before they go to school. That to me is just so, like, even when my mom would stay in bed, we would go into the room and say goodbye to her. Like, it was just a routine. She doesn't even have Madeline go in the room and like give her a kiss goodbye while she's still in bed. Did not want to get McDonald's and just wanted to get dropped off. He also wanted to let her know he left his phone at home by accident and had gone to the vape shop, but they had not opened on time. Stephan waited for a while in front of the vape shop, and after they did not open, he went back home. After hanging out with Jen for a little while, Stephan left again to go to the vape shop to get what he needed. Jen then asked if I wanted the name of the vape shop because she believed it might be helpful if I wanted to look at surveillance. Oh, how convenient that, you know, she wants to offer up this like name of the vape shop. And why is that? You know, Stephan's your man. Why are you so ready to be like, you know, helpful? Very interesting. I then told Jen I was advised at some point Stephan had gotten a flat tire and he was not able to go to school with her. I asked Jen to advise me how she became aware Madeline was not at school. Jen stated she normally left her residence at approximately 14:30 hours and waited an hour for her to get out of school, get out before the bell rang. Jen waited the entire time, and when the bell rang, she noticed Madeline was not one of the first to come out like she usually was. Jen then realized she was holding up the parent line, and approximately 6:10 hours, Jen drove away. Jen was not sure if Madeline knew she was going to pick her up. Therefore, she drove to, and then this address is redacted, and it's the workplace located at redacted. Let's see. How long is this? Because I'm not trying to go over our time that we usually do. All right. Okay, so we know that Jen is leaving the school at this point and is driving to that area where her mother works, right? And that's where we're going to leave off. Let's play again. We got a lot to read through. This is only part one. I'm just totally amazed at this whole morning scene, getting this information from Jen's point of view. I mean, we knew for the last few weeks that Stephan lies about, you know, well, we drove to McDonald's and I asked her again if she wanted McDonald's and we did a U-turn and then I drove to the church and she got out of the car and said, I love you too, blah, 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 blah. We've known all that, but to hear Jen's, not hear it, but to read Jen's interview here, which I cannot wait to see someday when we get to see this like interview conducted on video, to see her mannerisms, her voice tone and all that. The mother was jealous of the young girl. I could see that. A lot of people think that too. Did they find Ativan with the autopsy? Don't know yet. It's all sealed up, but that'll be interesting. Because remember, he mentions she took her nighttime medication, blah, 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 blah. This nighttime medication, very interesting. Yeah, so seeing this whole scene, Stephan wasn't at the party. They get back home. Jen's still not home from work. She gets home and says, you two head up to bed. I want sleep. What in the world? Then, you know, she goes to the school, not there. She's about to drive to that tax area where her mother works. So we'll leave off there as far as the documents that we've read. We read quite a bit tonight. So let's see what we can find out on this too, because I want to watch just a couple minutes of this from Court TV. I don't want to watch much of it. Gray Hughes is on, and I just, yeah.
Madeline's friend further stated that Madeline only mentioned her biological father briefly, but she was always on a call with her stepdad, Stephan. Stephan and Madeline were always texting each other or talking on the phone. Madeline loved him, and they were really close. Stephan is Madeline's mom's boyfriend, and he's been in her life for a long period of time. Stephan.
So we haven't gone to this page yet, but I still think it's interesting to kind of reference these pages that we haven't reached yet to kind of tie in everything still as we go through them. What page are we on, AV asked? We are on page 33 of 896. So a lot more to go, a lot of incident reports, supplements, narratives, and all that to kind of go through. We'll see what we comb, but we're going to comb through all this. We're also going to reference Court TV combing through it as well. The three slept together many times. So what did they do? Oh God, Katie, I have no idea. But I've tried not to think about it. But yeah, she sent them to another room so she could sleep. So did they do? I don't know. So many questions. Are you, Purple One, are you on Facebook? Let me link my True Crime Facebook group. If you want to contact me, you can find me on there. I just really don't give my email out. Give me a second.
Recently moved out of the home.
I do find it interesting that this friend who was interviewed, which we'll get to this page ourselves, states that Madeline loves Stephan.
Home, but he still visits often. Stephan and Madeline's mom were also very close. Madeline talks to Stephan at least 2 to 3 times a week on the phone, but also texts with him. She usually talks to him on the phone in the afternoon and at night. And then it's either Madeline or Madeline's friend described Stephan as very interested in Madeline, and Madeline would tell him about things going on at school. Madeline never disclosed to her anything inappropriate that Stephan said or did, and she's never witnessed anything inappropriate between Madeline and Stephan. Normally, Madeline's mom or grandparents bring her to school. She does not recall a time when Stephan has ever brought Madeline to school. So that's from her friend. Let me bring in our experts and our.
And we'll leave it there. You guys can check out that episode if you want. It's a couple days old. They, you know, I also find it interesting that friend noted that, okay, yeah, I just linked the Facebook group. You can find me under the admin section. So my name's Amber. It's on there. And then you can just message me and I'll be able to answer. Or if you have Instagram, my Instagram is linked in my About Me section on my YouTube. You can DM me on Instagram as well. So guys, I find it interesting that friend noted that Stephan typically never drove Madeline to school anyways. So kind of out of the norm for him to have been driving her that day, it seems. I get so creeped out that they describe the relationship as very close. Do people not see that as a red flag? Right. It's very unfortunate, you know. Who knows? See, that's the thing is this friend was under the impression that Madeline loves Stephan. So it wasn't like Madeline confided in the friend like she did that counselor and said that he makes her feel uncomfortable. Madeline told that counselor that in December. So this happens in the end of February. The counselor knows about the uncomfortable, quote unquote, but she was happy and things were better between her mother and her because Stephan had left. So that's also interesting, you know, because obviously there was bad blood between her and her mother when Stephan was living there, for her to note to the counselor that things had gotten better between her and her mom once Stephan moved out. So that also kind of leads me to think that Jen knew about some issues. Again, I can't say that 100%, but it seems like it's something that Madeline was kind of open about. And what do we hear Stephan say? I'm the person that she can turn to when her and her mom aren't getting along. Like, why was her and her mom not getting along? Because of you, Stephan? I don't know. Again, who knows what was shared with the mother, what she knew at this point. But to me, it just looks very, very odd. It looks not right. Something doesn't look right. But yeah, if you guys just hit the like and subscribe, that's all I ask. Thank you, Unravel, for the super chat earlier. I don't think Adrian is here. He's on Switzerland time and he works in the morning. But if he listens to the replay, thank you so much for the PayPal. Roxanne, if you're still here, thank you so much for the Cash App today. I appreciate you very, very much. But yeah, thank you guys. When can we go through this again? You guys want to do it again tomorrow night? We'll do part 2. Again, I don't know how many parts this is going to be, but I can go through some more reading tomorrow night if you guys want to join me. Again, we've got a lot of pages to go through. Some of them, I don't know if they'll be just nonsense pages or what, but we can go through them. Dina says, hi, Amber. I'm a new sub. Love your channel. Binge watching. I agree with all your theories. 100. Oh, cool. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, Jen gave her daughter to Stearns. It definitely appears that way. It really, really does. Let's see. Okay, guys, join me tomorrow night. We'll leave it here for right now. More stuff to go through. And again, I just want to thank everyone. Hit that like button. And yeah, join me tomorrow night, probably from 8 to 9, around that area. And we can keep deep diving into those records. Those records you can get from the county clerk's office website. Criminality sent me the records, and then I also found them in a Facebook group. Finally, somebody had shared the link. So then that's where I ended up downloading it. And that's where I ended up getting it for tonight. So if you guys are in, I think it's Justice for Madelinesoto Facebook group, they're in there. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Hopefully you come back and join me and we'll keep reading. We'll share some more visuals and talk more theories on this case. We are in hopes for justice. And I think that we have a very solid case against Stephan Stearns so far from everything we know. The question is, what's going to happen with the mother? What did she know? When did she know it? When will we know what the authorities know? Okay, thank you so much, Purple One. All right, yes, suspicious the day she goes missing, she is fine. Yeah. All right, okay, cool. Anyone who wants to join that Facebook page, it's a small group, but we have good conversations, share some funny true crime memes and stuff. I know true crime and funny memes kind of sound weird together, but if you're in the group, you'll understand. But yeah, see you guys tomorrow night. Have a good night. Thank you, everybody.